guys, Will here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're reviewing the all-new 2024 BMW X3 M40i. And for those of you guys who don't know, the X3 has been BMW's compact SUV since 2003. This is the final year for the third generation X3, which has been with us since 2018 and facelifted in 2022. For 2024, the X3 is available in 3 trims and power plants, ranging from the $47,000 base 30i, which features BMW's 2-liter turbocharged B48 inline 4-cylinder, cranking out 248 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, enough to get the X3 to 60 in the low 6-second range, all the way up to the $75,000 M and M Competition for an extra $7K, which features BMW's twin-turbo S58 inline 6, which cranks out for the M 473 horsepower, 503 for the Competition, and both crank out 443 pound-feet of torque. Here we have the M40i, which sits right in the middle of the lineup, featuring BMW's glorious B58 twin-scroll inline 6-cylinder, cranking out what we know by now is an underrated 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque, enough to get this 4,300-pound all-wheel drive SUV to 60 in the low 4-second range. I believe Car and Driver tested it at 4.1. With a base price of $62,000, what else do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So with this graphite gray metallic paint color, this is a beautiful vehicle. Hopefully you can pick up the sparkles here in the Florida sun. And with the Shadowline package, we don't have any shiny chrome in this exterior. We have the black contrast for the sides, black contrasted grille, and black headlight housing. We also have the optional 1500M individual rims, which we'll check out in 1 second. But continuing along, BMW LED headlamps. They're not the laser LEDs, but they still do an excellent job. And with the Shadowline package, they look very sharp. We don't get fog lights, but we have full front parking sensing, a forward-facing camera, and a 360. Hopefully you can pick up the supports in front of the radiator and intercooler right down below. And although this is technically not an actual M car, you're gonna see a lot of M badges all throughout the exterior and interior of this SUV. We don't get the 50th anniversary BMW badge like we had for last year. I kind of wish they carried that along, but it makes sense. It's no longer the 50th anniversary. It's now the 51st. Additional side sensor to help us out with the 360. We get functional airflow too, helping us cool off the brakes. This heat extractor out rear is not functional, but definitely adds with the exterior styling. We have a proximity sensor too for the key. It automatically unlocks the vehicle as you step close, and as we walk away, it will also lock it. The wheels, we mentioned, see, just locked up. But the wheels, we mentioned we get the 21-inch BMW M individual rims. And these are 21s. These are the most expensive rims available on the M40i. And they look great with the black and silver contrast wrapped in Bridgestone Alenza summer performance tires. They're not a true summer tire. I believe it's categorized as a 3-season, rated for, I believe, down to 40 degrees. But I've seen a lot of videos where people drive with these tires in the snow in winter climates. My grandpa actually just bought an X3 M40i with these same exact tires, so we'll see how it does up in New York. This specific X3 M40i is actually my parents' new car, but we'll get into that in 1 second. The tires we mentioned are Bridgestone Alenza 3-season tires, dimensions up front being 245/40 R21, out rear they're 275/35 R21. So very grippy setup, especially with this all-wheel drive system. You get a 4-piston Brembo style M brake caliper and a massive rotor. I'll leave a link right here to show you exactly the dimensions of these rotors. And with this M adaptive suspension, the X3 is about ½ an inch lower compared to the 30i when you go with the M40i, and even lower if you go for the true M. All body colored trim for the wheel well and rocker panel side skirt area, black contrasted mirror, power folding mirror as you guys can see. We have an additional camera on it helping us out with the 360, LED turn signal on it too. Blind spot monitoring on the glass. We get 4-door smart access, roof rails up top, massive panoramic moonroof, shark fin style antenna. Out rear, same rear wheel and tire setup. The only real difference is a smaller brake caliper, and we mentioned the contrasted tires. So instead of the 245 wide tires and 40 sidewalls, here we have 275 wide tires and 35 series sidewalls. So no tire rotations, unfortunately. You got to replace all the tires at the same time. Not a big deal if you're buying a performance-oriented vehicle. Basically to be expected. And all of these are categorized as summer performance tires. It says outside on the sidewall. And when it comes to tread wear and temperature, they're both rated A. Hopefully you pick it up on camera. Additional side sensor out rear to help us out with 360. All black trim for the window trim, blacked out pillars too. Out rear, full LED taillights. This is what we had on the post facelift for 2024. LED for the turn signals and reverse lights as well. It's not functional airflow in this corner, but definitely adds with the aggressive styling. X3 M40i badging. I wish the badging was also blacked out for the Shadowline package. I like the aggressive exhaust tips trailer hitch. That's a $600 option for the X3. Shout out Bert Smith BMW in St. Petersburg, Florida for hooking my parents up with this beautiful M40i. But speaking of the exhaust tips, let's fire up this B58 inline 6-cylinder and hear how she sounds. Alright guys, that was the sound of the 3-liter B58 twin-scroll turbo inline 6-cylinder sold by BMW for the 2024 X3 M40i, and it sounds really good, especially for a 6-cylinder. BMW's always found a way to make their straight 6s sound excellent. Even these turbocharged straight 6s sound some of the best in the business. It says M Performance on the engine cover, BMW right next to it with the BMW badge. You get strut tower braces, additional supports in front of the radiator. Hopefully you can pick them up on camera. Cranking out a underrated 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. I say underrated because ever since 2018, when this power plant became more mainstream, we've been seeing these numbers to the wheels. So more likely about 450, 460 horsepower, same thing going for the torque. Enough to get this 4,400 pound all-wheel drive SUV to 60 in the low 4-second range. Car and Driver tested it at 4.1 and BMW claims 4.4, making it one of the quickest vehicles in the segment, especially considering the price point. Shutting the hood right up, we can take a step back, walk around this 2024 X3 M40i one more time. We'll take a step inside and see what we get with a $62,000 base price. Again, as we step closer to the vehicle, the doors automatically unlock. Anyway, up top we get the Stitch Sensitech material with gray contrast stitching, carbon fiber trim. That's a $300 option. We get the Cognac Sensitech synthetic leather, 4-window auto one-touch, gushy soft armrest, power folding mirrors, 4-way adjustable, and our trunk release. The grab handle over here is also a rubberized texture. We get 2-person memory seats, lock and unlock X for all BMW SUVs, 2 speakers on the door panel, massive storage down below, just hard plastic. Got to go for the X5 and up to get the soft touch. You'll stack 2 or 3 footlongs on top of each other and a massive cup holder in front of it. M aluminum nameplate as we step inside, all-weather floor mats that say X3, and hopefully you get a good look at the pedals. The seats are perforated, also the Cognac Sensitech, well bolstered, black contrast stitching, perforated too. They're heated, not ventilated. We have adjustable thigh support. You can recline, drop, lift, and slide the front seats with 4-way lumbar control as well. Taking a step inside, we can really check it out. So foot on the brake, engine start, stop, and everything fires right to life. So we reviewed a 2022 and 2023 X3 M40i. Really not a whole lot has changed since 2022. As far as options, let's just take a quick look at this window sticker and see everything that we have available. So $61,900 for the base price, $650 for the dark graphite metallic, $400 for the Shadowline package, $700 for the parking assistance package. So far these are all must-have features on the X3 M40i in my opinion, but continuing along, and this is where we start getting to some of the options that aren't necessarily necessary. $1,350 for the premium package. Heated steering wheel, heated front seats are included. Both are very necessary for Florida. That package also includes the heads-up display. Hopefully you guys can pick it up on camera. BMW does one of the best heads-up displays in the business. But continuing along with features that I wouldn't necessarily recommend, $1,550 for these beautiful 21-inch rims. Again, they look amazing, but if you go for the $600 optional wheels, you get 20s, which allow you to get fatter tires, and if you go with the standard wheels, they're 19s, which give you the fattest tires, in return giving you the best ride quality. $600 for the trailer hitch, $300 for the carbon fiber trim, $120 for the wheel locks, $220 for the floor mats, $45 for the first aid kit, $1,000 for the destination charge, totaling us out a tick under $69,000. You guys can pause to take a look at all the rest of the standard features, BMW's maintenance program, which it's a good deal, but the interval for the oil changes is, I think, 3 times or every 10,000 miles, which in my opinion is way too long to wait for this car. I'd recommend going to Jiffy Lube or something and just get it done every 5,000 miles, and then every other oil change you can go to the BMW dealership. Fuel economy is excellent, 23 combined, 21 city, 26 on the highway, and I've seen people average up to 23, 24 mpgs in this. For an all-wheel drive 4,400-pound SUV, that is out of control. Anyway, you guys can pause, take a look at all the rest of the standard features. As far as pricing, the vehicle is what, $68,800? I believe my parents got a $4,000 discount on the car, so about MSRP after tax and fees, and they also got their lease paid off on their Alpha Stelvio. They had about 5 or 6 months left of payments, so that's about $3,000 on top of the discount, making this just about a must-purchase vehicle, especially since my grandparents bought an X3 M40i a couple weeks ago. I never ended up making a video about that because they had to go back to New York, but they fell in love with that car. My parents thought that it was just amazing. So to be able to get that discount and their vehicle paid off made this purchase just about a no-brainer for them. Anyway, continuing along, as far as the interior, we still got this beautiful M steering wheel with contrast stitching. It's got the blue and red contrast. The horn area is stitched, the horn itself. Loud and aggressive, people should be definitely getting out of your way. We don't get double pane front windows, but it's a thick single pane of glass, not quite as thick as the X5. There is a tiny little bit of wind noise that gets carried to the cabin above 65 miles an hour, so keep that in mind. If you want the quieter ride, the X5 will give it to you. If you want the quietest ride, the X7 gets dual pane windows, but the X5 starts at about $5,000 to $10,000 more expensive than this with all-wheel drive, and the X7 starts $20,000 above this. So you are getting what you pay for at the end of the day, and this is still a really quiet and beautiful interior. The road noise with this adaptive suspension is basically non-existent, so that's probably why you hear a little bit more wind noise, because you just literally hear nothing through the road. The dashboard is stitched, it's Sensitech, not genuine leather. The paddle shifters are aluminum. On the left side, we have our cruise control settings. On the right side, volume and skip, voice commands, and you can adjust the infotainment system right over here. When you have the heads-up display on, these buttons actually adjust the heads-up display, and these gauges aren't configurable outside of the drive mode. So right now, we are in comfort mode. You can throw it into sport and things change up, back to comfort and Eco Pro. All the drive modes have different overall gauge displays. We'll start the review off in Sport Plus, transition into comfort, and just see what the differences are. We get auto headlamps, auto high beams, and auto rain sensing wipers on the right side. The stocks have a satisfying click to them. We got our headlight controls, interior brightness, and our parking lights to the left. Additional storage cubby, it's lined in felt. Hopefully you get a good look at the pedals. We already checked them out, but hopefully you can see them one more time. I mentioned the heads-up display. The dashboard is all stitched. You get the 12.3-inch touchscreen. This is also a huge reason to get the X3 M40i before 2025, because we're upgrading to the iDrive 8 ASAP. iDrive 8, it's a beautiful display with the 14.9-inch touchscreen and 12.3-inch digital gauge display. Definitely one of the best looking systems in the business, but with the iDrive 8, you lose the hard buttons for the heated and ventilated seats. This SUV doesn't have ventilated seats, but you would lose the hard buttons for it, and you would lose the hard buttons for the overall climate. So for that exact reason, I'd recommend getting this before the iDrive 8 comes out. The navigation screen, still excellent. The response is just like an iPhone, one of the best in the business. The iDrive 8, the screen is nicer, but the overall feedback and response really hasn't changed compared to this iDrive 7 system. We get media, communication, navigation, car settings. Let's see what we get. Driving information, vehicle status, settings, carrying car, profiles, manual, and the regulatory notes. We have our apps too. Installed apps, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and it's wireless. If you check out driving information, you can see trip data, sports displays, driving style analysis, X-View, and energy flow. We can check out trip data, sport displays. Here we can see our boost gauge, coolant temperature, G-forces, and our horsepower to torque ratio. We can check out the X-View. Here we have our altitude, pitch and roll grade, and you can see an outside view of your X3 with a compass right up top. The final screen to check out is this energy flow. Here you can see a power and torque distribution, engine and battery percentage too, engine running, comfort request. Awesome. My personal favorite to look at all times would be the navigation screen, so we'll leave it there. Dual zone automatic front climate control with additional climate control out rear. Hazards, 360 safety sense, some genuine aluminum outline of the air vents, more carbon fiber trim, part of that $300 option group, and I think this looks a little bit more premium compared to the faux wood trim that you get as standard. Beneath that, we have our presets, volume and skip controls, M logo above this cover. The cover covers the wireless charging pad, 2 cup holders, 12 volt. Behind it, the gear selector controls the 8-speed automatic transmission, one of the snappiest shifting transmissions in the business while still being unbelievably smooth and luxurious. We can check out the backup camera real quick. Unbelievable resolution, guidance lines and trajectory, and we get an over-the-top 360 automatic parking, backup assistance, and you can adjust the camera image with settings underneath. Throwing right back into park, we stay in the backup camera screen because BMW wants you to be able to see what it would look like if your doors were open, so you don't open your doors and immediately get them smacked off by some oncoming traffic. But because of that, you have to actually return to the home screen by hand if you don't want to just keep looking at the backup camera once you park your car. You can turn off the traction control, check out the cameras at all times, turn off the parking sensors, engine start stop, sport, comfort, eco pro mode, hill descent control, electronic parking brake with brake hold. If you don't want to use a touchscreen and getting covered with fingerprints, you have a dial down here too. Media, home, map, communication, navigation, back, and option for the shortcuts. Awesome. The armrest, it's pretty soft, no contrast stitching unfortunately. Still a comfortable area to rest your arm. It's pretty wide too, not a whole lot narrower compared to the X5. We can check out the space, also pretty impressive compared to the X5. You'll fit 7 or 8 12-ounce cans, LED light, and a USB-C port in there too. The glove box, it is soft touch with an aluminum latch, damped, lined with felt, and decently large. You'll fit 20 license plates, pair of shoes with no problem. Frameless auto-dimming rear view mirror with 3 garage HomeLink settings on it. The interior lights are LED, SOS, and we get this massive panoramic moonroof. We can open up the shade real quick. Doesn't open up super quickly, the shade, but eventually it will open up, and I'll catch right back with you. All right, guys, now the shades open up. Let's do the glass. See how far it goes. Pretty far. See if it goes any further. It does. So into the second row for the opening. Poke our way out of here. Beautiful day today in Tampa, Florida. Sunny and 61 degrees according to this X3 M40i. We'll shut the glass right up, leave the shade open, so when we hop out back, you guys can see how much light is brought into the cabin. But that's about it for the front seat of this 2024 BMW X3 M40i. You guys know this is probably my favorite SUV out on the road today, per dollar, of course. Obviously, I'd rather have the X5M personally, but for the money, this is literally half the price of an X5M while giving you very, very similar performance. Up top, you get more of that Sensatech stitching, carbon fiber trim beneath it, aluminum separating the 2 tiers of materials, aluminum door handle, and a gushy soft armrest. Auto one-touch window. We get 1 speaker on the door panel and a very solid amount of storage. Hopefully you guys can pick it up on camera, and a large cup holder. The rear seats are still perforated. The padding goes all the way out to the door frame, so very couch-like. You got your car seat latches down below. Legroom looks very impressive. I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall sitting behind my seat settings, and I still have about 4 or 5 inches of knee room, headroom, even though we have a moonroof. I still have about 1 inch, maybe 2 inches of headroom. So if you're under 6'5", 6'6", you should be able to sit in the back of the X3 behind your seat settings with no problem. These seats are also reclinable seats, as you guys can see. This is the max recline setting, and now I have like 4, 5, 6 inches of headroom. We have a separate 3rd zone climate control, USB-C ports, cargo nets behind both of the front seats, air vents, of course, ton of light brought into the cabin thanks to this massive panoramic moonroof. The interior lights are LED. We get hooks for both of the grab handles for the backseat passengers. Very spacious back seat. This is a huge reason on why I would recommend going with an X3 over an X4. Yes, the X4 has really cool looking styling, but as far as backseat space and cargo space, the X4 and X3 are quite simply not comparable, just like the X5 and X6. I've always been saying it, the X4 and the X6 just simply don't justify in practicality to exchange for the higher price tag. So I'd recommend going with the X3 or the X5. Hopefully you guys can see the ambient lighting in this interior too. It's adjustable for the colors. Right now it is red. Taking a step out towards the cargo space, we'll see how much space is offered back there. And then take this 2024 X3 M40i out for a drive. So underneath the BMW button is the latch for the trunk, and it gives you a second to get out of the way so you don't get duped in the face if you're holding the grocery bag. So as we just said, this is also a huge reason on why I recommend the X3 over the X4. It's the cargo space. It's a low floor too. At 6 feet tall, my knee's just about the same level as the step-in, so if you have older or smaller pets, they shouldn't have the toughest time hopping back here. And with the X3, we have a pretty tall roof even for the trunk. The X4 would lose significant amount of trunk space. No subwoofer back here, it's just a standard sound system, unfortunately. But even for a standard sound system, it sounds pretty good. We get a cargo net over here, good spot for a grocery bag so it's not just flying around. 12 volt, that's nice for an electric cooler, hooks, and a cover back here as well. That's about it though, guys. I'll leave a link right here to show you exactly how much cargo space is back here with the second row up and down. Secret storage is okay. We can see what's going on underneath this plastic tray. Looks like your hybrid battery stuff, but it's still nice to get a little bit of secret storage considering the battery is out back. There's 2 buttons to close the trunk. This button closes the trunk, this button closes it and locks the SUV. We don't need a lock, so we'll press this first button. It closes right up, so make sure you get out of the way or you're gonna get doofed in the head if you're not quick enough. That's about it though, guys, for the inside and outside of this beautiful dark graphite gray metallic 2024 BMW X3 M40i. I've always said that this and the M340i by BMW are my favorite vehicles out on the road today. They're genuinely competing with vehicles $20,000 to $30,000 more expensive while still being beautiful both inside and out. Performance-wise, let's take this 2024 BMW X3 M40i out for a drive and see what it's got. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the 2024 BMW X3 M40i. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. So starting off in comfort mode, throttle's still very sensitive over the speed bumps. The ride quality in comfort mode is downright luxurious. Yes, the X5 and the X7, it'll have a little bit of a softer ride, but with these adaptive dampers in comfort mode, this X3 M40i makes it really, really close to those cars. Also, you don't hear the bumps at all. The way, I don't know if it's the tires or if it's the dampers, whatever it is, takes the sound away from everything. You don't hear the bumps even one bit. Once you cross 60, 65 miles per hour, we'll hear a little tiny bit of wind noise from these skinnier windows. Boom, bump, nothing. In comfort mode, the ride quality is downright excellent. Noticeably better compared to my parents' Stelvio. My parents' Stelvio had great ride quality and it had softer all-season tires with 45 series sidewall, and I can only imagine how good the ride quality would be here if that's what you put on. Comfort mode, we'll take a step out over here. About third throttle, really good power. Whoo! Super strong. We'll try it out in sport. Try out these paddles. The lane keep assist kicks us in. It is snappy. Handling is good. Woo! Wow. Good Lord. This thing is fast. Good God, yeah, you look down and you are moving. And at highway speed, so we can throw it back into comfort mode, whew, sport is something else. And this car can grip. But in comfort mode, everything gets nice and quiet. Throttle still stays nice and sensitive. At highway speed, we're turning at about 2,000 RPM, which helps our fuel economy tremendously. And we mentioned before, after 60 miles an hour, you hear a little bit more wind noise. At 80 compared to 60, you really don't hear any more wind noise compared to that, which says a lot. The overall isolation from the road is fantastic, guys. For a sport vehicle, you still keep a ton of luxury. Compared to a GLC 43 AMG, I don't think this is a whole lot less luxurious, and compared to the increased performance and lower base price, in my opinion at least, I think it's a no-brain choice. Ooh, in Sport Plus you get automatic rev match downshifts. Ooh, hopefully you can pick him up on camera. Looks like a good opportunity to try one out off the line. About half throttle. Oh, whew. Good Lord, guys, this thing is fast. I can 100% see 0 to 60 happening in about 4 seconds. If you launch the crap out of it, I wouldn't be surprised if you can get it in like 3.9. But either way, hopefully you guys can see just how much of a blast this vehicle is. And you press that comfort button, it transforms the vehicle completely. That's one area where BMW, I think, does it better than anybody else. How in comfort mode, you can have a true luxurious vehicle, and then you press one button, you press sport, and it goes from straight up luxury to almost straight up performance. But then again, this is the M40i. If you really want the straight up performance, pay the extra $10,000 and go for the M. Pay the extra $15,000 to $17,000 and go for the M competition. Why do you go for the M40? It's because you want that performance, but you want to be able to press that comfort button and have a truly luxurious SUV. To be this comfortable, luxurious, and isolated in comfort mode, and then you just, with a click of a button, you press sport and completely changes the character up of this vehicle. I just hope you can pick it up on camera. The steering changes up. The body roll is non-existent with these active dampers. Woo! Woo! price, guys. This thing has a ton of power. If you're looking for the ultimate balance between luxury and performance, this is quite honestly the best vehicle per dollar on the road today, this and the 340i. But if you prefer SUVs over sedans, you definitely prefer this over a 340i. Let's throw it back into comfort mode real quick. It's just insane how different the vehicle feels with just those 2 clicks of a button. Again, if you're looking for just the ultimate balance between luxury and performance, I would 1000% recommend checking out the 2024 BMW X3 M40i. I've said it countless times that this might be my favorite vehicle out on the road today under $100,000. Compared to an X5M competition, this is really almost just as exciting while saving almost half of the price tag. Compared to the M competition cars, these have a way better ride, and if you really want that performance, you just press that sport button and you got it. If that's what you're looking for, guys, I would 100% recommend checking out the 2024 BMW X3 M40i. I recommend it to everybody. My grandparents bought one a couple weeks ago. My parents just bought one a couple days ago. And if you're looking for something similar, I would 1000% recommend checking it out. And a huge thanks to all you guys for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you'd like to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.